Welcome to City Exodus.
Welcome back to City Exodus. So the update on our home is that we haven't received the permits yet, so we're still waiting on the permits for the septic and the building. So as you know, when we moved out of San Diego, we wanted to move from the city to the country, but it ended up, as we planned it and prayed about it, we needed to make a pit stop here in Las Vegas to stay there in the meantime while our house was being built. And so originally we thought that the house would be built from February to March, but as we purchased or put down our payment, it seems that our house will be built by April or May. And so here we are in Las Vegas. We moved from city to Sin City before the country. So we have been praying to ask God, what do we need to do? Do we really need to be here all the way up to May? So as we've been feeling more convicted that we need to flee the city and move to the country as soon as possible, we were trying to figure out a way. And as we prayed, we thought that we could use a trailer and buy a trailer in order to get on the property sooner. And regardless, we've always thought that ever since we received 40 acres that we wanted to build tiny homes or something where other people could stay there. Those who, when it's time to flee the cities, we would have space enough to house them, or maybe even people that want to visit the country and take a look at the properties around us. So buying a trailer would make sense because it would not only help us now, but it will also help us down the road to help other people. But as we looked for trailers, we noticed that trailers were anywhere from $10,000 to $60,000, depending if they're brand new or used. And as we started looking on OfferUp and Craigslist and LetGo, we noticed that these trailers were really expensive. Our budget was really small because we have so much of our money already allotted for certain things, such as the well, which is a big expense, solar, and the actual prefab home itself, and all the other things that we need to get our homestead going. So we were praying and praying, Lord, if this is your will, if you want us to move to the country, we need to find a trailer. We need to find a trailer soon. And so as we looked for a trailer, nothing was coming up. And as I prayed and me and Kim just kneeled and got on our knees, we said, Lord, if this is your will, then we will stay here. But please reveal what your purpose is for us here. Or if this is not your will, please make it obvious, and may we find a way to get to the property, get to the country sooner than later. And so the next day, as I looked through OfferUp, I found a trailer that was for $5,000, and that was the lowest one I've seen that was in decent condition, and it included a solar panel that could charge some of the things inside the trailer, which would be helpful for us since we would be living off-grid on the property while we wait to have things built and get the land ready. And so I called the owner of the trailer, and after scheduling to look at it, it looked really great. It was used. It's a 1999 trailer, but it had great space. It was well taken care of. When we looked at it, we met David and Angel, two great people that just took their time, almost a few hours, just to show us everything about the trailer, every nook and cranny, top to bottom. Showed us how to use it, how to turn things on, how to turn things off, where things were located, explaining in detail. And we thought that was very nice. They seemed like a very nice couple. And the only thing, leaving them and letting them know that we'd make a decision. I didn't know if I could afford $5,000. My budget was maybe $3,500 at most, maybe $3,750 was my absolute max based on the budgeting and numbers I crunched. And as I told David and Angel, I told them that we would need some time to think about it. It was Sabbath, and so I left it to God. I didn't worry about it on that Sabbath. And first thing, Saturday night or Sunday morning, I let him know what the offer was and what I could give. And sure enough, it was just what we needed. And after speaking to David, when we met the next day, we had talked about it. They had told us their story and how they were praying for a family like us to buy this trailer, and they were going through some rough times and that they needed to sell this right away. So it was almost as if this was a match made in heaven, that God, like a divine providence, that God wanted us to meet. We knew that God had put them in our path and God had put us in their path. So praise the Lord. I want you to hear David and Angel's testimony.
My name is Angel Codwell, and this is my husband, David, and we are from Denver, Colorado. We kind of were priced out in Colorado, so we decided to get our camper, and kind of found out that it was a little too big. Didn't necessarily need it, and all we want is just what we need, and we find that that the simpler things in life sometimes give a little bit more meaning to life. And we came to Las Vegas during the winter months because Denver, Colorado is quite cold. And my husband doing this a sprinkler company, a small sprinkler company. It is a seasonal gig. So we came out here to Las Vegas hoping that we could both find jobs, and we were just kind of a little let down, and it caused us to fall on hard times. We decided that we needed to pray a little bit about our future, and we were kind of given a sign that maybe we needed to go a little smaller, and that maybe we needed to sell our camper and actually go into a van, which I'm actually very excited about. And we were really praying that that we would find the right family for our camper. And I was given a sign that it was going to be okay, that they were coming, and I prayed for this family before they even came into our lives. So we know that they're going to be happy in it. Definitely feel that with all my heart, and by helping them, they're helping us, and that's how God works. That's how God works. A week ago, we were so stressed and in tears stressed that we didn't know what the future held for us, and we were afraid. And you know, we prayed on it, and I went to sleep, and I woke up, and I felt, you know, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. And anytime, you know, you get to a point in your life where you feel like, what am I gonna do? You know, what you do is you pray about it, and you let the fear go, and you give it to God, and He will give you what you need. But I think that this was our path, and it's been chosen for us because we needed to be humbled so that we could be put on the right path to find the path that God has chosen for us.
And just to elaborate on that a little bit, that goes all the way back to how we met, and maybe even beforehand. We've been married now for over 10 years, and met through unlikely circumstances, but nonetheless have found love and the true meaning of life within each other.
Absolutely.
If you would have told me 10 years ago that I'd see all that I've seen since I've been married to my wife, I wouldn't have believed you. And together we've been on this path, and we just put it in God's hands. And a lot of times we don't know what the plan is, but just being open to the plan is the best way for us. And we're very happy, and we're very open to whatever the future may hold now, when just not long ago we were completely desperate and didn't know what to do. Prayer is a very strong thing. Absolutely. And my wife has prayed enough for the both of us, and she's definitely restored my faith when I felt my faith slipping. And it's a very strong thing to know that God has you and has your heart.
You're loved. Everybody's loved. Every single soul on this earth is loved. And He loves each and every living thing on this earth. Sometimes you may feel emotional and like, how can God possibly love me? Well, you have to look a little deeper, you know. because there's a meaning there. There's a meaning.
We've now nearly
It's
been
undeniable.
coast to coast from Virginia all the way to Las Vegas, Nevada, and we only have a little bit more to go to see the other
California,
ocean.
can't wait.
We've been as far north as very close to Canada, and now we're down here. We've seen a lot of things, and all of it has been very enlightening. And we've been on this path of enlightenment, and every day we feel like we're learning something new.
Absolutely.
And right at the time when you least expect it, God puts somebody in your life, crosses paths with someone else, and you just realize that you couldn't have seen that coming, but it's all part of the big picture.
It is part of the plan. Absolutely.
Before we left, we decided to pray with them, and also we gave them a couple of things to read, some literature like The Great Controversy, a couple of DVDs, and we prayed with them, and it was nice to know that they were Christian. When we leave it all up to God, when we fully rely on Him, we get down on our knees and pray knowing that He's answered our prayer before we've even spoken it. His timing is always just in time. It's right when it comes down to the wire. We know that when it happens, we know that only God could have done that. No other person could have helped us except God and made that match for us and for them. God truly answers prayers, friends. Not only did we gain a trailer, but more importantly, we gained friends. We not only gained friends, we gained another brother and sister in Christ. It is so important that we remember all the things that God has done through all our struggles, all the answered prayers in the past, so that when the future struggles appear, we can be patient in prayer and know that He will give us a blessing. We just need to wait for it. And I always think about the Israelites. They saw the parting of the Red Sea. They saw manna fall from the sky. They seen water come from a rock that God supplied them as long as they were in the wilderness. They saw all these miracles that God had done. Yet every new struggle they had, they would complain and murmur and doubt. We can't be like that. We need to remember everything that God has done in our lives to help us be patient and be confident and encouraged that God will answer our prayer in our time of need. This is taken from Life Sketches, page 196. It says, "We have nothing to fear for the future except as we forget how God had led us in our past." And here's another quote from the book of Psalms. It says, "Nevertheless, I am continually with thee. Thou hast holden me by my right hand. Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel, and afterward receive me to glory." Friends, God is always on time. If we continue to walk with God and keep Him as our focus, He has shown us time and time again that He answers, and He will again answer your prayer. So be encouraged, friends. Be blessed and be a blessing.